Hey, food friends, and welcome to the Food Founders Podcast. Whether you're looking to get on your very first store shelf or you're looking to grow your national or even international food brand, this podcast is going to teach you what it really takes to launch, grow, and scale a packaged food brand. Hear the food founder journeys of brands growing in their industry so you can fast track your food business success. I'm your host, Ainsley, and this is the Food Founders Podcast.
Hey, food friends. I'm here today with Yasser Hashim from Lumen. Yasser, welcome to the Food Founders Podcast.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Really excited to have you on here. Let's just jump right into it. Can you talk to us about Lumen? What is Lumen and who is it for?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great question. So Lumen is the first and only company here in the U.S. cold press juicing hemp. So I know hemp is a whole craze right now in the U.S. and you see CBD everywhere, CBD extracts, CBD isolates. People are always asking, does it get you high? What is hemp? And we can get into all the nuances of what that is later. But so what we do and what makes us unique is that we take the hemp plant and we grind it, we wash it, and we juice it. And so you get all the chlorophyll, the vitamins, the minerals, the aminos, and that's an approach that nobody else has taken here in the States. And we see a few companies outside the States, but it's really novel in that we call it the cutting edge of 10,000-year-old technology, but it's novel in the sense that we don't use any chemicals, we don't use any pesticides, and we juice the plant like you juice kale or celery or spinach. So it's really the closest you can get to the plant. It's all natural. It's got a ton of amazing benefits. And so we take that hemp juice and then we put it into wellness shots. So we've formulated it into wellness shots. And we've got a lineup of 4 different SKUs. And the SKUs are designed to accentuate the properties of the hemp juice. So it's great for stress and inflammation. And so we've created a line that really accentuates those properties. And we think the best way to bring hemp juice to the market and to consumers is in the wellness shot format. So that's a really kind of simple overview of what we do. We juice the entire hemp plant and then we mix it into wellness shots.
Got it. And you've got the wellness shots. You were drinking one before. You were drinking,
yes,
there we go.
Our bright brain. So I usually have a bright brain in the morning. It's got cacao, lion's mane, ginkgo, shiitake, rhodiola rosea, as well as our hemp juice. So it's kind of a chocolatey, silky, tastes really good. And I like it in the morning with a coffee. And then also in the afternoon when I don't want another coffee so I can get to sleep at night. Kind of helps me push through emails and admin stuff in the afternoon. So that's our bright brain.
Got it. Very cool. That's really helpful to see it like that and know the ingredients, because I think when a lot of people think at first of a shot like that, you can go to one of the brain boosting shots, but then you can also go to just a shot of wheatgrass, or just a shot of cold pressed ginger or something like that. So this is hemp pressed, but then with other flavors, so you can get those great benefits and a great flavor with it as well.
Exactly. And one of the things that we realized when we first launched, and I think this happens with most companies, I would say, is build the brand that you think is going to succeed in the market. For us, we had a hunch, and we knew consumers were going to want hemp juice. We looked at what was happening, and one of our advisors used to always tell us, look at where everybody runs and run in the opposite direction. And everybody was running after extracts and isolates and making it stronger and more pure. And for us, nobody was running after cold pressed hemp juice. And we saw, like you said, what happened. People were taking wheatgrass shots all the time. And so hemp juice was just what we saw as the next natural progression of wheatgrass. And so we launched, and we had these formulated wellness shots. At the time, it was an immune and a calm. And we would share with consumers at stores. We do demos. And people were captivated by the fact that we had hemp juice in our shots. And so we kept getting asked, demo after demo after demo, can we get the cold pressed hemp juice? And so what we ended up doing was we listened to the consumer and we launched what is now our gold label, but it's a shot that's mainly cold pressed hemp juice. And now it's doing really, really well. And so even though we have 3 SKUs that we blend the hemp juice into, our bright brain being one of them, we have an immune, which has orange juice, ginger, turmeric, black pepper, so lots of vitamin C, lots of anti-inflammatories. We have a gut well, which is a probiotic. we have now one shot that is mainly cold pressed hemp juice. And so it takes that kind of wheatgrass approach. And it was really what people kept asking for. They're like, we've never tried it. We want to try it. We want to see it. They get to see it in the bottle. It's green. And so, yeah, kind of, we've taken both approaches. We've taken the one where we have a shot that is pure hemp juice, and then the others that are formulated.
Got it. And what I love about what you just shared there is that you listen to the consumer. At the end of the day, we do business for the consumer, right? So if that's what the people are asking for, that's what you give them, right?
Exactly. And they tell you a lot of the things that early on, I think they tell you like you're working in your business or on your business, and early on you're very much in your business, right? You're very much trying to figure out where do all the pieces come together. What does the branding look like? And what does the marketing look like? And there's so many limited lenses, no matter how many people you reach out to from advisors and friends and family, it's such a limited subset of people that are trying to understand what you see inside your head. And you're trying to see, is this label going to talk to the consumer? And is the packaging going to talk to the consumer? And there's only so much you can do until you get there, until you get to a store and you put it in front of someone. And that's where a lot of the magic starts to happen. And for us early on, we had to keep telling ourselves, stay humble to the things that you don't know. And our packaging changed a lot in the first 12 months, because we wouldn't buy too many labels. We wouldn't buy too many caps and bottles, because you want to leave the flexibility to make these minor changes and refinements early on. And then eventually your changes only make marginal gains. So you want to get as much as you can early on and then just stick with it and push your concept. So another example, our bottle now on the front, I don't know if you can see, but it says Lumen Hemp Shot. And it used to say Lumen Regenerative Elixir, right? Regenerative agricultural practices and elixir, because it's a blended format of all these amazing functional ingredients. Consumers really didn't understand what that meant on the shelf. What they wanted to know was that it was hemp and that it was a shot. And so now it's a lot more refined. It's a lot cleaner. It just says hemp shot. So that's an example of something that we thought would resonate with the consumer when it was, something much more simpler.
Got it. Yeah, keep it really, really simple, right?
Yeah.
So how on earth did you guys get into this business to begin with? I know it seems like it's kind of like twisted and turned and you guys have learned along the way, but how did you get into this?
I think you just start. So for us, we had me and one of my business partners, Chris Taylor, we were working on a project in Texas that didn't kind of fall apart. It was our first startup. And from there, we had endless opportunities that opened up. And one of the crazy things is people think when you fail, it's like all over. For us, it was one of the biggest failures of our life. But it has also led into one of the biggest failures of our life, or thus far. And we had a list of opportunities that came about after that startup fell apart. One of them was Lumen. And at the time, it wasn't called Lumen. It was just Jacob, who's our third co-founder, and he's an ex-co-founder here. And he was on the list of people that wanted to look at potentially doing a project with us. And Chris Jagger, the person was actually the one that connected us. He was like, hey, I know Jacob, and he's doing something really unique, and he's a very professional. And so we go through all of our meetings, and we call Jacob. And one of the first things he says is, we're going to be the largest cold pressed hemp juice supplier in the world. And that's kind of captivating. And then he also tied it into he's like, look at how things are being done today, and look at how our food is being treated. Look at how our soil, look at how people's health is being treated. And there's an opportunity for us not to just make hemp and bring it to the market in a very unique way, but to tie it. We've got a farmer who's an amazing farmer, and one that can really help us put some of these pieces together. And so for us, of all the opportunities that we had at hand, it was definitely the one that was the most exciting, the one that really touched on why we decided, both of us decided we were on the path to become physicians and have medical school acceptances. And for us, food is medicine. And of all the opportunities, this was the one that really tugged at what we're passionate about, is clean food, clean soils, healthy food, healthy people. And so that's kind of the origin of it. And so we moved to California, and we packed everything we had, put the rest of our savings into making hemp juice. And at the time, we had full-size bottles. So it's hemp juice and these full-size kind of green juices, kale and celery and spinach. And that's what we launched with, a fund that was willing to give us a little bit of money to kind of put some concepts together And it wasn't enough to do a full-blown launch. So we reached out to, missing pieces of the story here, but we reached out to Indiegogo and we asked if we could do a pre-sale campaign. Because we don't have enough money to just like make a whole bunch of bottles and sell. But what we could do is we can gather sales, we can gather consumers and see if they're interested in what we're doing. And then that would be enough for us to do one big order, right? Buy bottles and labels and all the other stuff that comes with it. And so Indiegogo said, you know what, you guys are doing something unique and it's new, it's food, and it's not an extract, it's not an isolate. We'll do it. We'll let you guys launch it. And so that was the first thumbs up. The second one was we had a little bit of money left for marketing. So we reached out to Facebook and we asked them, can we do some marketing? We'd like to drive traffic to our Indiegogo campaign. We're a small startup. We've got a little bit of funds, and we can put some of it into Indiegogo content and the rest of it into Facebook, and hope it works. Because if it doesn't, we don't know really what to do. And so Facebook gave us the thumbs up. They were like, "Okay, we'll do it," and we launched. So we launched our Indiegogo campaign. We put it all together, and we hit go. And then Facebook blocked us for being "quote unquote" illegal drug manufacturer. So we went from having the money to put towards marketing to a little bit of money, and we have to figure out how to drive traffic to our campaign. And so, being scrappy entrepreneurs, what we ended up doing was we grabbed some coolers, we filled them with product, and we went door to door, yoga studio to CrossFit gym to park, and we would just share Lumen. And we'd set up a little table, we put up little flyers and signs, and we'd sample, and we were successfully able to raise or do pre-sales of about a little over $30,000 in about 6 weeks. So that was a lot of fun, and I think that was the beginning of our Lumen journey. Okay, people want hemp juice. And then from there, it obviously led into grocery stores and kind of everything we've become today. So we're in about 60 plus stores now, and we've got a whole bunch more coming on the way. And still a very, very small company, still very scrappy. But that's kind of the origin of how it all came together. A lot of just go and, you know what you're passionate about, you know what you want to do, and just figure it out along the way.
Yeah, I don't know, that feels like a kind of core element of how you guys operate. Let's figure it out. We know we want to go this area. Let's just find a way to get there. And you're really not taking, no along the way. You try to make it work, but you're also flexible at the same time. Go ahead.
I think the flexibility is key. There's a quote I heard recently about, you're flying the plane as you're building it. And it really does feel true, because there's a lot of times where you feel, if I don't change, this plane's going to fall. And so that flexibility and that willingness to change the little things on the label, the willingness to, we had a SKU early on that just wasn't palatable for consumers. So the willingness to not hold on to it, right? Find out what's the function that they really want. How do we adjust the flavor profile and then give it right back to them? And then now the new ones do really well. And so again, it's that concept of be flexible and be willing to adapt to what you hear and just go.
Would you say that that's one of your guys' kind of secret ingredients for success, or what other kind of like traits as leaders do you find has really led to the success that you guys have had today?
Well, I don't know if we're leaders so much, but
you're leaders.
I think there's several traits. I think one, like I said earlier, is definitely one of the strongest ones is humility. Be humble to the things that you don't know, because we don't come from the beverage space. So for us, we're scientists at heart, and we had to come into a completely new space, a completely new industry that we don't have business backgrounds either. So, there's a lot of it that we had to build the groundwork for ourselves as we built the groundwork for our company. So that's, I think, the first one is take everything with some humility and really try to let yourself know that you're not the expert, and try to put people around you that can help guide you in the direction you want to go. Chris Jagger being one of them. We would not have hemp juice today if we didn't have an amazing farmer that has such a deep understanding of these regenerative agricultural practices, such a deep understanding of hemp, how to grow it, and how to grow it in these amazing systems. And so that's, I think, one of the pieces. The second piece is quickly being able to build systems, right? So they tell you if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. And so early on, it was just go, 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 figure it out, build it. Just a sale is a sale. We don't have any sales, so it's 100% more than we had yesterday. But as you start to grow, your ability to really build systems that support your team, that support the people around you, you start to measure, where are my sales coming from? Where's my growth coming from? Where am I spending my money? Where am I seeing return? Where am I not seeing return? And so humility and systems, I would say, is the next biggest thing. Really looking at, again, what have I built today? And how do I start to understand it? Because earlier I was saying there's a difference between working in your business and on your business. And I think in the early days of Lumen, we were very much just reacting, right? It was like, oh, we don't have money. Oh, we need labels. Oh, Facebook won't let us market. And so we're constantly reacting to how our brand is working its way into the market. Whereas today, I think we've reached a point where we drive it, right? We know when to push on the gas, when to pull off the gas, what retailers work really well for us and which don't, where to spend trade spend, and where to put your marketing dollars, and which advisors help with what aspects and cash flow. And so I think before you can get to that stage where you're driving your business, it's the ability to build systems or put people around you that help you build the system. So I think those would be the two main ones. And then just, working hard. I think there's no substitute for, putting your heart and soul into something. And that just comes from passion. If you do what you love, and if you love what you do, then you can just, Monday through Sunday, it's all you end up doing. So I think that would be the last piece, is just, really find something that, makes you tick, that just every morning, because there's some mornings you're just not going to want to wake up. You're exhausted, you're tired, you're doing demos for 5-6 weeks straight. And it's that passion and that desire to make change that is really just going to get you up in the morning and get you going. So I think those key components all together, and they come at different times, will help kind of push you to success. And we're still on the path. I don't know if I would say we're successful just yet, but we're definitely on the path.
You're on the path. Those 3 core ways of operating are really, really helpful. That's really, really key. And I love that you say, just like, at the end of the day too, it's like hard work. Nothing replaces that, right? That's so huge. And that passion definitely helps. Like, I know that you're passionate about what you're doing, and that has such an impact. It's like so cliche, but it makes it like it's not work, right? You're there in it. It's cliche for a reason.
Exactly. Yep.
So you guys are in about 60 stores, you said, right now. You're growing. Obviously, each new level, there's new level of challenges. What are you guys working on right now that is like a new challenge that you're seeing with this next stage of growth that you're at?
That's a great question, because it feels like every next stage has thousands of new challenges. I would say, so hemp juice is a completely new ingredient, right? It's the cutting edge of 10,000-year-old technology. It's an ancient ingredient. It's been around for a long, long time. But for the consumer here in the US, it's a kind of a resurgence of a new ingredient, maybe we could say. And so a lot of people, they have an understanding of CBD now, but they don't necessarily have an understanding of hemp juice. And so I think one of the challenges we see is that maybe we jump too far ahead. And a lot of people spend time with retailers in particular trying to understand exactly what it is that we do. And I think that's a challenge. Whereas if we were just a wellness shot, if we just had ginger and turmeric and orange juice, and if it was just an anti-inflammatory, then it would make sense conceptually. But for us, saying hemp juice, like, wait, is it going to get you high? What is it? What is the functionality? What does it look like? Can I taste it? Oh, do consumers want this? And so we have to, I think that's a challenge that we've kind of found ways to navigate as we grow. And so that's from a retailer and from a growth perspective, it's easier to educate a consumer. It's a little bit more difficult to educate larger retailers that have, legal teams, and they're trying to do risk mitigation. They're trying to figure out, what is this ingredient? And so for us, it's taken a lot of groundwork and a lot of building. Like, our hemp juice is now certified organic. it comes from a regenerative farm. So we do a lot of work to show the transparency from, we show Blue Fox Farm whenever we're telling people where our ingredients come from. And so we do as much of the groundwork as we can to add transparency to our supply chain, to show people exactly what this ingredient is and what the functionality is. But I think that's one thing that we've constantly been trying to tinker with and figure out, what is the one message that drives across? And I think with time, it'll slowly come. I think we're just a little ahead of the curve, and some of the retailers that have picked this up today are the retailers that kind of are known for bringing in new ideas, bringing in innovation. So for them, it was kind of an easy sell. They like to plant the flag and say, we brought these things to the market that eventually became mainstream. And so now, as we make the jump from these very tight and kind of niche, high-end retailers that are known for innovation to some of the ones that really are the ones where we want to make impact, where we want to drive change, where we want to spread our message to consumers, I think the challenge is just really, educating correctly on, not only what hemp juice is, but the benefit it has for consumers. So that's one. I think another one is just the logistics as you grow, and that is a challenge that can easily be mitigated by advice. People that you can put around you that help you with the challenges of scaling. So we're working through that one, but I would say the education component is key.
Cool. Yeah, and that's going to be something that the market almost just needs to catch up with it too, right? You are innovators. You're at the front of the market. It's a great place to be. I'm a really big believer in first to market advantage.
Yep.
And it'll be worth it once everyone catches up, right?
Yeah, I was recently talking to Chris, and I were actually recently talking to the founder of Guayaki, and he's connected through one of our advisors, and we just wanted to reach out and say, we're young, we're entrepreneurs, and we're figuring this hemp juice thing out, and we're growing quickly, and we want to know, we see you guys everywhere, every store we go into, you guys have such great shelf placement, and I took a picture of a shelf one time and it says and again, maybe this is another skill for entrepreneurs out there that are listening, but look at your set, look at your shelf, look at what's around you, and really try to figure out who has paved maybe not the exact same path, but a similar path before you, and try to seek those people out because they have some insights that can be valuable. And so for us, I took a picture of that shelf and I asked one of our advisors, like, hey, is there any way you could get me connected to Chris? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. He's another Chris. His name's Chris. So he did, and we had a great call. And my question to him was, you guys have built you built yerba mate to a point where it's an ingredient that's in stores and people know it, and it's everywhere. And, consumers love it. And how did you do it? And he said to me, we've built a very successful brand today, but we still haven't captured that much of the market. If you really look at what yerba mate is today compared to a lot of the beverage sets, we're only such a very, very small percentage. And so the key for them was consumers experiencing their product. He said we would go out and they had a van that they lived in, and they would go, event to marketing event to store to demo, and they would just share yerba mate. And the brand used to be something very different than it is today. But one of the things that we were asking was, again, how do we make hemp juice what yerba mate has become today? And he said, what you guys are doing is on the right track. Engage with consumers constantly. They're going to experience how hemp juice makes them feel. They're going to experience how good they feel and how much better their body feels. And they're going to have a good understanding of how good the hemp juice not only is for themselves, but for the planet. And that alone will continue to drive your success. And so I think some of it is us just understanding that the journey and the process is longer than it seems, or longer than you might want it to be. But as long as you stay persistent and dedicated to what is going to be life-changing for consumers and life-changing for the world that we live in today, it'll hit. And so that would be kind of my take on it today, is it's going to be persistence of just continuing to share the ingredient with consumers, with people we meet at different events, at different gatherings, with, through podcasts, and just continuing to share our message. And eventually, people might think you're a great success, similar to how I did with Guayaki, and they are a very, they are a very, very successful company. And again, their perspective is, and we still have a long way to go. We've still only captured such a small portion of the market. So dedication, persistence, and I think we'll be able to overcome some of these challenges from an educational perspective.
Yeah, yeah. Such a key skill, dedication. It always takes way longer than we want it to, way longer than we think it's going to. It's just part of it, right?
It's hard to kind of get yourself over that. Sometimes you're endless days that push into weeks, that push into months, and now we're in our second year of business. And if we look at where we are today compared to where we were the same time last year, miles away. I mean, this is like we've just gotten into our first stores, right?
Right.
But if we look at the perception of where we thought we would be today, it's like, whoa, okay, now we're in reality. But it's good. It's good. That vision that is so far out is how you get to change in 12 months. That's way more than you would have ever dreamed, right? And so that it does take longer than we think, but time does move quickly, and it moves faster than we think. And I think really seeing far out is how you get to grow so quickly and drive so much change, is because you're running for a finish line that is going further and further away.
Yeah.
And so it drives your whole company with you.
I love that. Okay, you've dropped a whole lot of knowledge bombs for everyone in here. A whole lot of great advice. Any other advice that you would have for anyone who's in that early stage? Maybe they're just getting started, or they're just thinking about maybe bringing their idea actually to life. What advice do you have for people who are just getting into it in the food and bev world?
So a couple pieces of advice. One that we'd done early on is just whatever your idea is, look for people that have done something similar in the past. Look for people that we saw it happen with Expo West, right? Expo West was this big natural products expo, and it got postponed. And I think one of the things that's most humbling for us as founders, especially as early stage founders, is immediately the natural products industry and a lot of the veterans in the industry started opening up their inboxes. They started opening up their cell phones and really engaging with the community, and especially the startup community. And so there's a lot of people in our industry that have the time and have the capacity, even though it's very limited, to help and make a big difference. And so I would say, don't be afraid to Google some people that may have done something similar or that could have a lot of advice for you. And don't be afraid to try to get a hold of them, because what you'll find is a lot of the people in the natural products industry and in the beverage space are very open and willing to give advice and give guidance, especially in the early stages. And some of their advice can really guide those early decision-making processes that drive your company to, get you over the first couple of hurdles, right? They'll tell you things that, for us, going from full-size juices to a wellness shot, things like that. Or they'll tell you, oh, look at Google these 3 companies and look at what they've done. And those early pieces of inspiration are going to guide what then builds the foundation of what your company could become. So that's, I think, one of the first pieces is do some Googling and look up some people that may have done some things similar and try to get a hold of them. Most of the time, they're willing to give you the time and some advice. The second piece I would say is don't be afraid to fail. I know it's out there all the time. People are saying, oh, it's, failure sucks and it hurts, and it does. But I think a lot of, from our experience with Lumen, is when everything's falling apart, when it feels like nothing's coming together, when it feels like you're just spinning your wheels and you're putting your heart and soul into it and you're not getting anywhere. Usually after that point, after it feels like, all right, there's nothing left, I'm done, something really good happens. So I would say my second piece of advice, if anyone's going to take it to heart, is when it feels like absolutely nothing's coming together, it's just not working out. If you stay true, you stay dedicated, you stay persistent, that moment right after the one where you think it's all over, at least for us, something has come about that's completely changed our trajectory. So persistence. There's people out there that want to help, that want to support. And so I think those would be the 2 key ones for someone in the early stage that might make the biggest difference. Reach out to help. A lot of people want to give it. And to, stay persistent, stay true to your dream. A lot of the people that have made it, a lot of the people that we look up to, all say the same thing. Just stay true to your dream. Be willing to adapt as it grows. Listen to consumers. Listen to what your product becomes. and go out there and have fun. I mean, be passionate, enjoy it, laugh, cry, run, work out, exercise. It's a good opportunity to build who you are. Early stage startups aren't easy. They require you to really be mentally strong, physically strong, emotionally strong. And so build the right, support system, have the right people around you. But I'd say those are the two big ones. Ask for help. People are willing to give it, and to stay persistent.
Cool. Love that. Love that advice for everyone. All right. Final question I have for you. What does Lumen pair perfectly with?
Oh, that's a great question. So the gold label is just an amazing experience on its own, right? I want people to try the hemp juice on its own. You add a little bit of lemon, a little bit of ginger, and a little bit of coconut nectar, but it's an amazing experience. The way it makes your body feel. So that, I would say, for the first experience, try it on its own. And I'm going to send you a case so you get to enjoy it.
Awesome.
In the summertime, one of our retail partners, Erewhon, does what's called a Luminade. So they add hemp juice to lemonade. So it's very refreshing. It's very light. It's very calming. So that's a very kind of light pairing. It's great in the summertime. It's very refreshing. So that's a good one. And then for people that live, fast on the go lifestyle, it's really easy to add to a smoothie. So I'd say those are the three ways if anyone wanted to enjoy Lumen. One, enjoy it on its own. Experience what hemp juice can do for you and for your body. And then two, if you want something refreshing, I know the summertime is coming up, and I know that it's a successful partnership. So adding hemp juice to lemonade is a great way to get a refreshing juice or refreshing lemonade for the summer. And then three, if you live that fast on the go lifestyle, you're constantly working out, you're cycling, you're running, add it to a smoothie. It tastes great. It's just like celery or kale, and it's just a whole new ingredient that brings a ton of functionality. So those are the three that I'll leave for everyone with.
Awesome. I can't wait to try this. I'm sure everyone listening is also craving to try it. And I know on your website, if people go and check out the Lumen website, which there'll be a link to as well, there's a store locator on there. So you can find a store close to you to find it.
Absolutely. Yep. At drinklumen.com, or even on the social media. It's still a quick note, since we're still a small company, we still get the messages on there. So it comes straight to our inbox. So if you look us up at Drink Lumen, happy to give, guidance, advice if anybody wants to send out a quick note on there. If you're an early stage founder, again, we haven't built a lot of success, but we've overcome some early hurdles. So happy to, give out some guidance there as well.
Perfect. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all of this and for helping get hemp shots into more people's bodies across the world.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. This has been a lot of fun. I've done a few of these podcast video style talk shows in the past, and this has definitely been one of the most memorable and a lot of fun.
Cool. Well, it was great chatting with you.
Absolutely. Absolute pleasure.
The Food Founders Podcast is brought to you by the Fab Growth Academy, the online hub for driven food and beverage business owners that want to get on more shelves, get into more homes, and really grow their food business. Inside the Fab Growth Academy, Fab standing for food and beverage, you'll have unlimited access to tools, resources, and training from myself and my food friends. So if you know you have a great product, let's work on building the business side of things so that more people can enjoy it and you can make the impact I know you want to make with your business. The Fab Growth Academy is now open, so hop on over to growmyfoodbrand.com to join me and your fellow food founders inside the Fab Growth Academy. I cannot wait to see you in there and help you grow your business.